And even speaking about the music, what inspired you to even start? Or like, I know growing up as a kid, you probably listened to a few like artists here and there.
Yeah. You know, when my youngest memory with hip hop was, you know, the first time I was able to leave my house by myself.
Yeah.
You know, when you're able to go to
the
the
store and whatnot. And in the process of
How old were you, by the way?
Yeah, it's gonna be embarrassing. Man. It's probably like, you gotta remember, I was growing up in
I can only imagine. Man.
It was like maybe like
I lived in Queens too. I lived in
Yeah.
Queens Village.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was like maybe I was 10, 11, something
10,
like that, you know,
yeah.
something like that. So going out and just like, you know, prior to this moment, I was surrounded by just Spanish music all the time because of my parents and whatnot. And then, you know, going out by myself, like experiencing the whole everything.
Yeah.
And then just hearing like hip hop blasting out of a car and just
Right.
like chilling there for a second, like, yo, this is pretty fire. And then ever since, you know, I've kept up with hip hop and just grew to love the
sounds and the frequencies present throughout like all of its music.
Any like major artists or anything like that stuck out for me? You love this guy.
you know what it is? Like, I feel like anytime I get into a new chapter in my career, or it's like in my path or whatever,
I gravitate to a certain artist and just like really get passionate about their technique and how they create songs in general. But I mean, from the very earliest, it was always like Lil Wayne, you know, just Fabulous, you know, some legends there. Just basically anyone who had the ability to grab your attention, because I feel like what made hip hop so popular before like social media was, what are you gonna say in 30 seconds to make a listener want to listen? So anytime I heard some like real like braggadocio, some like swag rap, it was just like, yeah, this is fire, you know.
Right. Do you have like a main guy you go to for making music, like a main producer or anything like that?
Yeah, I gotta shout out Push the Button. He's part of the group too, and he makes vocals sound so clean and so.
I always said that having a producer or an engineer is like having a barber. Like you're never going to betray your engineer.
And his vision and his desire to like how he views music is very Kanye-esque. Like,
right.
So he'll throw out an idea like, oh, we're gonna try this on this, and like even if you don't see it in the moment, I've garnered enough trust with him that I know that it's gonna come out. It's not gonna be nice.
Any battles you go through when you start either like writing? Do you write music or do you like freestyle on the mic?
I'm more of a writer, so
More of a writer, right?
yeah, exactly. So you know, the process kind of begins by just beat hunting, and that's what makes like being able to create your own stuff so powerful.
You would have to spend hours on YouTube or hours on BeatStars listening to beats and hoping that you would find one. And now it's like I can spend hours just trying to find an exact sample and kind of just let it go, because like I don't try to force anything. Like
I know I'm gonna make a song with something if I hear it the first time and I'm already just like thinking about melodies, thinking about what directions I want to go, and it just makes it easier to achieve that now. And then afterwards, it's like
is probably the most important thing. I've been testing out some new things where it's like I'll record it once and like
fix the recording rather than just like taking 100 takes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more authentic, like that Jay-Z mentality where I'm just gonna go lay it down once and like it is.
So you're a little bit of a perfectionist, but not to a degree.
I've had to learn to shave that off. Like, like if I were to admit how long Can't Sleep Sober was in production, it'd be like, what?
Yeah.
So you gotta learn to just, you know,
still have the connection with the song, but also just be able to let it live by itself, you know. But it's a hard lesson. Anyone will tell you.
I can only imagine, man. I go through the same thing too. These videos. So if you were, let's say we're looking at an 11-year-old prophecy, and you know he's an old prophecy, and you know he's in Brooklyn. What would you say like a normal day as a child? Like you're growing up, your childhood up there.
At 11, I mean, we'll go like more teenage years. Like I would always try to get to the water, to the pier, right off of where I live. There was a nice, beautiful pier under the Williamsburg Bridge.
Pier under the Williamsburg Bridge that like has like this sound effect of just the waves coming in that is very calm. And back then you could get to right up close to the water, so you could just spend time writing or doing your homework or whatever it was. So I try to get there as much as possible. And then it was just like listening to music
and trying to write, honestly, because like you can tell the difference between where you are and where you want to be.
Right.
So you just got to continue training.
Like a calming setting for you.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you not being able to say what you're thinking, especially when it comes sonically, is like some of the most frustrating things. But you got to remember to put yourself in a place where time is kind of suspended. Yeah. If you put yourself in those pressures, like you can hear it in the end result. Right. But by putting you in a very calm place, you can make some really calm music, some really like chill vibes, and it all comes out really nice.
Right. The reason why I brought this up too is like, there's some young viewers that are probably watching this, and when you see yourself in that place, and someone that's already like you, that's already got the engine started, you're already making your music, you found you have your spot that you go to, who gives you that peace of mind and everything like that. I think that's dope. So if you were still in that younger state, is there anybody that you dreamt of, like, I want to make music with this person, or I want to make music with this person? Like,
so many.
Yeah.
I'd say like a personal goal of mine is if I get a Wayne verse, I'm probably gonna retire.
Oh, that cash money is very long.
Not even for that. It's just like because of the style and just because of the legend that he is. If I got the opportunity, I would never turn it down. I mean,
love to do something like with like Tame Impala, which is every hip hop rapper's favorite artist now. And just like, anyone willing to go the distance, I'm just trying to broaden my horizon, see what other people can do on my beats, see what I can do to their songs and stuff like that.
It's 2021 and it's definitely like a new era. Now, independency versus signing a label, and I also noticed that you work with DistroKid.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself working towards signing or being a part of a major label, or keeping independency, or you want to just strictly just I'm independent. I'm with my fans or supporters.
Yeah.
Whatever you call them.
I think I'm always into doing things logically, so if it makes sense, I'm not going to, because of principles and things like that, shun anything away. I feel like given if the parameters to any business deal or any working together of two entities happens, if it makes sense, it'll work. You don't want something where it's like, hey, I'm gonna take your soul, and it's like, I'm good. Because that's what happens as far as like shifting the mentality that I was talking about earlier.
From wanting to be Drake to I want people to hear my message, then you can confidently tell these people, nah, you're not gonna take my soul. But if you're like 19 wanting to get money, of course you'll take something like that.
Yeah. When somebody flashes $3 million in your face,
you gonna turn it away? What are they, like Dave Chappelle? Nah.
Right.
I'm not turning that away. Yeah, But now hopefully the idea is that my thoughts have surpassed that, so it's like now it's like, well, maybe not.
But what would you do for like $50K that won't
exactly
make me lose myself?
Yeah. I think that's ultimately the defining decision where like that's why a lot of young people just make the wrong decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It's
There's probably like like the world's best rapper out there that can't rap no more because they sold their rights.
Yeah.
That's always like
I'm sure
there's because there's a lot of people that come and say, oh, I want to be a part of this. Then you really got to ask them, like, are you sure? Because this is a lot of headaches here. Then when you find the people who are motivated and are genuinely like good artists, and it's like, yeah, of course, it's an easy choice.
Do you have any other things that is coming down the pipeline besides your next project that's coming out?
Well, you know, we're always thinking there's always a skeleton that'll lead us into the next year. While planning in that stage, there's a lot of stuff that you want to do, but depending on a myriad of circumstances, you have to make sure that they'll happen. So like down the pipeline, obviously we want to do more videos, make more music, work with artists. You know, in the short term, we're dropping Balance 2, and that's gonna hold us down to decide to bring up summer vibes, you know, because that's always the purpose. You always got to catch the summer vibes.
Facts. Any goals for the summer?
Goals for the summer? I'm trying to be outside as much as possible.
Tired of COVID-19, right?
Yeah, I'm tired. Well, it's crazy. I just want to be able to go outside again. I know that's like the most cliche thing, but it's facts.
What was Prophecy doing before COVID-19?
Oh wow, I was in events every day, honestly. Going around the city trying to find new artists, new opportunities, stuff like that, and just living the life. Like I probably see my bed more times now than I've ever seen it in the last few years.
But it's always fun being in that environment because you never know who you're gonna meet and what magic can be made.
Right. And meeting anybody, any special ladies out there?
Shit, if
it becomes something, there's definitely gonna be like some songs. Okay, the artistry comes in that way, but
not to go into your chilling, definitely.
It's tricky. I mean, you know, a lot of artists will tell you that when they create something, it's coming from like pain or just like depressing feelings and stuff like that. And you know, I'll be honest, like that's where a lot of stuff came from in the past. But it gets to a point where it's like, do I really have
to go through a breakup to make another song? Exactly. Like at a certain point, it becomes like I don't want to keep doing that to myself emotionally just to get something out of it, you know. So being able to explore what it's like to be chill without any negative emotion or whatever, it's important. It helps you makes good art, you know, so that you're able to always bounce back and balance.
Would you ever like drop a Spanish album or anything like that, or?
You know, it's all of my friends are always pushing me to do that. I feel like I have to just do more studying on that. I'm not opposed to it. Like I love a lot of Spanish music, but I, you know, with anything that happens in my projects, you wanna kind of like mix
everything in. So I would take you know some like bachata or some dembow kind of music, and then with some like Spanish trap, but like making it sound right. And I feel like there's a lot of architects right now in their music that are trying to make it happen. Right. So short answer, yes. I think something could happen. Long answer is it's gonna be a while.
So like to get in the Spanish hip hop community, who's your favorite artist? Like Bad Bunny, Ozuna?
Honestly, like I'm so like I'm still on Aventura, you know, like I'm still on that like really lyrical like ballads, you know, because it's just it fits the song so nicely. I think Bad Bunny is making some really crazy waves, and it's on his Travis Scott kind of ascend with like his sound. But yeah, these are all gonna be inspirations and stuff that I try to draw from to make something.
So just to get out of the music just for now, like as far as movies or anything like that, is there anything like that you're watching right now that's caught your eye?
You really I don't know. I was watching Superbad the other day. It's pretty.
That's
good.
a throwback.
It is a throwback. You know, I'm the type to like watch something, then go back and rewatch it like
2 months later type stuff. You know. As far as like new things, I mean, I saw that Godzilla movie.
How'd you feel about that, by the way? Like,
I'm gonna lose a lot of fans. I feel like it was Batman v Superman all over.
Oh man, tell me about it. Like, not no fights.
Like I was waiting for Martha, you know what I mean? But it was cool for what it was. I'm not the hugest Godzilla fan, but the people that I know are Godzilla fans, they did for me. So you know, as long as they were able to give them something.
Really like get tunnel visioned about it, because especially when you start, it's gonna be difficult. You know, some people have natural talent, some people have to work on it. And if you're starting immediately just because you've chosen to do something that's outside the realm of like normality, you know, this is something that's in the beginning of Can't Sleep Sober. It's like if you're not a lawyer, a doctor, or anything that has a pathway to doing something, you're always gonna be viewed as the weird one, or like oh, there's no way that can happen, la 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 la, or whatever.
They don't believe in your dream.
Exactly. You have to create your own path and continue on, even when most of the time it has to be you yourself that's driving yourself, you know. So the main thing that I would tell people is just to train. You know, it is what it is. You're gonna start off horrible, and then hopefully one day you'll get nice if you continue trying. You know, and that goes for all art forms. I feel like whenever you want to do something that might even be a hobby, people are always gonna like look at you weird for it. But that's how you change culture.
Yeah,
that's how you change the world.
Were your parents like, or people that were in your life, were they like all the way in with your music? Were they all the way supportive at all?
Honestly, probably not. I mean, for the main reason being like they weren't aware that I was making music. But once they found out, they were like, okay, cool. Yeah. You know, it's like, all right,
make it happen.
Yeah, do what you got to do. You know, but I'm grateful to have met the people in my squad who are all in that level of focus where it's like we're all just gonna do it, and after a lot of time of work, it's the results are showing, you know, and it's really comforting to see.
Definitely, man. Definitely. So, the Balance 2 comes out 13th, right?
April 13th.
Okay. How many tracks? Because I only heard the 2 tracks.
Yeah, it's only 2 tracks.
Yeah.
The philosophy is about having that introspective, like bar heavy song, which is Feels Like, where it's like talking about the imposter syndrome and talking about having to, ironically enough, what we did before, where it's like about that isolation that you feel while you're trying to make your first steps in any art form. Then the second one, which is Pray, which is just like a typical like brag rap, you know, and it has that energy and that liveliness to it. And I did that with my homie Soleil, who's also in the collective. So it was a great balance.
Definitely, man. Any last comments or anything you want to say?
Yeah, follow ORG or Nothing. That's the squad. ORG Prophecy. That's me. Look out for new music. Follow me on Spotify and join my path. That's it. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. Appreciate you.